What's up, guys? I wanted to share this. Thought it was awesome because this is where things are heading, and it's about Paul the Apostle. He is prophesying about the future of Israel. He's prophesying not out of opinion, but he's prophesying through the revelation of Jesus Christ, because Paul carried the spirit of revelation upon him, and that's why he was given a thorn, because he was receiving an abundance of revelation. Well, Paul the Apostle is receiving this, writing about Israel in the future, talking about the ethnic Jews, talking about the partial hardening, talking about the Jews who rejected the Messiah. Not all of them did, but the ones that did. He's going to be talking about them, and he's going to say something that we should take to heart and not listen to all the propaganda, not listen to all the false theology of what people think Israel is today, which is just a political movement. It's not even the nation that was from God. It's just all politics, or the Gentiles are now the new Jews, and God's done with Israel. He's rejected them, and now it's just about the church. That all of that is just a bunch of baloney coming out of a opinion and not from the Word of God. But this is what Paul says, not Jordan Hill, not any man, but this is what he says. Here, he says it 4 times in 4 different verses in chapter 11. He says this. He says, "Now if the Gentiles were enriched because the people of Israel turned down God's offer of salvation, think how much greater a blessing the world will share when they finally accept it." Paul says when, not if, but when Israel accepts salvation, think of how much more a blessing it will be. He goes again and he says this: "For since Israel's rejection meant that God offered salvation to the rest of the world, the Gentiles, their acceptance, which is the ethnic Jews, will be even more wonderful. It will be life for those who are dead." He goes on again. He says this: "Some of the people of Israel have hard hearts, but this will last only until the full number of Gentiles comes to Christ, and all of Israel will be saved." He's saying that until the full number of Gentiles receive salvation in the nations, there is going to be a spiritual awakening, a spiritual rebirth in Israel. There was a physical rebirth in 1948, but now there's going to be a spiritual rebirth when the Gentiles, that full number comes. We are going to see that. Paul prophesied it, and he says it again. Check this out. He says this again: "For the callings and giftings are irrevocable. Now the Jews are rebels." They are today still. A lot of them believe in Judaism. They don't believe in Jesus Christ. They don't believe in the true Jewish Messiah, which is Jesus. But Paul goes on and he says, "And God's mercy has come to you Gentiles." God's mercy has came to me. And then he says, "so that they too, the Jews, will someday share in God's mercy." What does that mean? He says that mercy has come to the nations because of the Jews rejecting the Messiah. But when the full number comes in, God is going to show mercy back on the Jews, back on the ethnic Jews. Mercy is going back to Israel. Mercy is going back to Jerusalem. It's going back to Israel because King Jesus is going to be seated on the throne of David, being welcomed back by a Jewish people that are going to say, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." They're going to look unto him whom they have pierced and mourn as if they lost their firstborn son. Mercy is going back to Israel. Salvation is going back to Israel. It's going back to Israel because the Bible prophesied it. The Bible declared it. People want to try to remove and erase and say all these things that are not true and not biblical. But this is what the Word of God says, and I wanted to share it with you.